Rock on Rockies fans. Welcome into the Locked on Rockies podcast. I might turn this into a podcast. I don't really know what I am going to do, but we're talking all sorts of Rockies baseball with you Rockies fans right now. This is immediate reaction, folks. I mean, this is exactly what I'm going to gather the details. We're going to talk now. I'm posting this on Twitter. Like I said, I don't know if this is going to be a podcast or not. Let's talk about Rockies baseball. Come join us here as I'm hearing myself in the background. I'm going to mute that. Right now. Come hang out, everyone. Yes, Rockies baseball. Kyle Freeland tweeting out, currently unlocking every door, device, car in my house just to celebrate. Baseball is back. A Locked on MLB prospect says, bring me all the 40-man prospects for we have a deal. Jesse Rye, let's see, the free agency might start tonight, so we're going to see all sorts of great things about Rockies baseball and what that means and who's going to be on the team. Are the biggest question? Let's start here. And actually, I'm sure you probably are more curious. I don't know. I'm not the business guy. Let's go to Passan. Let's go to Passan, the man who has been hacked today. Probably the biggest day in his Twitter career, and especially because he got hacked by an NFT thing. But here we go. Major League Baseball and the MLB Players Association have reached a tentative agreement on a new labor deal, sources tell ESPN. While it still needs to be ratified by both parties, that is expected to be a formality. And when it is, baseball is back. Players can report to spring training camps as early as tomorrow. Opening day is expected to be April 7th, as Jesse Rogers first reported. Transactions unfreeze upon ratification, which is expected to come out as early as today, meaning free agents can sign and trades can occur. The final vote from 8 on the executive subcommittee and 30 player reps per source was 26-12 in favor of the new labor agreement. Baseball is back. We are talking about it here live with you, Rockies fans. Here it is. I mean, but one of my initial takeaways is the fact that all these deadlines, all these things that got pushed back. It's just crazy. I mean, it's so many nuts. The one thing I am curious, what is there is a playoff things. Who's going to report? Whew. Let me catch my breath a little bit. I gotta zone back in. I'm just giving you my immediate reaction. I was outside. I got my sunglasses on. I wanted to literally hop on and start talking as soon as we can. This is big, folks. I mean, it's interesting. Again, maybe you're sitting here as a Rockies fan, and someone already tweeted back in response that it's a bummer that the Rockies season is already starting, but not for us, not for Rockies fans, not for all of us that care about this team, and I mean that care about what's going on in baseball, and especially with this team. I mean, this is very, very important, and there's no way that there's no way that big names aren't going to move tonight. I mean, baseball is going to catch on like wildfire right now. I mean, this is the opportunity. You have to capture this momentum. You have to move forward. You have to get out there and go. It's crazy. Rico Barker in the YouTube chat says, Baker, I should say, says Christmas in March indeed. And you know what the best part about it is? It's not even, it's less than a month. I mean, it's less than a month until the Rockies are playing baseball again. This is major news for Rockies fans and for all of us. And so the question is, where do the Rockies go from here? What is the next step for the Colorado Rockies? Well, first things first, I think we're going to get the answer to the Trevor Story situation here soon. If the season is starting in less than a month, Trevor Story needs to be on a team immediately. I wouldn't be surprised if we might get something about Trevor Story today. If I am a free agent right now and I've gone through all of this, I know I've been talking in the background. Come on, let's be real here, folks. People, they're business, they're doing stuff. Come on now. This is something that we should see an answer to tonight. I would imagine. I can't imagine much past tomorrow. A team is interested in Trevor Story. Is that the Rockies? I don't know. I hope it's the Rockies. But if it isn't, we will we will see. We will know where Trevor Story ends up, I guarantee you, within the next 48 hours. Will the Rockies make a move on a free agent? I mean, what does firing your head analytics person or one of the people you brought in for analytics mean for the team and this approach? I mean, is this something that changes the mindset and the approach to free agency? Who do you bring in? Who are you going after? Do you have the power bat in mind? Is that power bat going to come in the outfield? Is there a mindset to go after another free agent shortstop? I mean, these are things that we just simply don't know about the Rockies. And with yet another analytics department, front office firing move, that makes you put into question what this team is actually going to do. If this team does not make any improvements, if this team does not do anything for the next couple of days, we are in trouble. This will be a long, long Rocky season. There's my little graphic. I say this because the Rockies have an opportunity, especially I'm waiting. I'm trying to see playoff things. But one quick thing I did just see from Jesse Rogers on ESPN, make up doubleheaders. That's from an hour ago. So I'm going to see if there's anything more recent. 9-inning doubleheaders and regular extra inning rules return. The man on second thing is a thing of the past. So that means that doubleheaders are back to that traditional 9-inning style. That's one thing. However, I know I got off track, but what the playoffs will shake out to be does mean something to the Rockies. This is a team that can, if things go completely right, again, this is if things go completely right, can benefit from expanded playoffs. We got Stephen Cross. It's over. The Rock Show isn't coming. Yes, it is indeed coming. And folks, that's why, as frustrated as you might have heard me all off season long, listen, and as frustrated as I probably will continue to be, a day like today, when something like this shows the importance and the significance of baseball. It shows the significance and the importance to us, and it shows how important this game is for tons and tons of fans. It doesn't matter who you're a fan of. And you know what, folks? There's a lot of fans out there with teams in a lot better position. But guess what? I cannot wait. And I'm over the moon that I'm getting 162 Rockies games. It's going to be a lot of podcasting. The baseball season's a lot of work. We got a ton of stuff to talk about here as we literally go from flatline on MLB to shooting like a rocket ship into the space. And the Rockies are an interesting team. So if you're sitting here, maybe you're I don't know. If you're sitting here as a Rockies fan and you're listening and you're curious, how should I feel going into the season? Feel how you want to feel, but let the excitement and the energy of baseball be part of that. Let the energy and the fact that, you know what, I'm tired of some of the arguments, and I think I'm too involved in seeing things. If your joy of Rockies baseball fandom is to just go out there to the ballpark and hang out, do it. After the pandemic and all the and then after having baseball taken away from you twice, we can sit there and be critical and have honest and good conversations about the ownership and the impacts of attendance. But if you love baseball, go out and enjoy a game at 50th and Blake this year. I hope I'm still remembering the address. That just shows how long it's been since 20th and Blake. Ugh. I was going to say a baseball game at 5280 at 20th and Blake. There you go. I can reinstate my Colorado card. Are you happy? However, we as Rockies fans need to sit and demand better. The Rockies with the team with a new GM, quote unquote new, I know. We cannot sit and allow the inactions and the missteps and the mistakes, especially of the last 3 years of the Colorado Rockies, to go unnoticed. Because unfortunately, when the excitement and the energy cools off, and the Rockies are facing a tough divisional stretch in the middle of June, already maybe on the outside looking in, you have to think back on a day like today and kind of draw out that energy. But you also need to reflect on the fact that why the heck are the Rockies in this position? I've said this on the pod last year, and I've said it multiple times. I repeat myself. I am annoying. I'm sorry. But the Rockies, and if it was according to the players and the trajectory I hope that they would have taken 2022 would have been a World Series year for the Colorado Rockies. A prime Nolan Arenado, a rotation that is clicked and worked together and understands what it's doing with free agent additions to fill in the holes where you needed them. And the Rockies have not done this. And the Rockies probably won't do anything. We don't know about that. We're not sure. But a good message to send to Rockies fans after this lockout is to sign a big name player. And you know what? Make it Trevor Story. Tell us to our faces that you actually were serious about having Trevor Story return to this team. Right? He fits what the Rockies would need. The Rockies, I'm not going to sit here and talk about payroll, nothing. The Rockies can spend more money and should have spent more money. Rico Baker says rebuild or retool. Until the Rockies fully embrace a rebuild identity, I hope that if they're sitting there and if they don't want to do the rebuild, then they have to be more willing to make trades. Because they can't be a rebuild or a retool team without doing both. They can't be a rebuild or a retool team without signing free agents, without making splashes anywhere. And the Rockies have shown us that they don't want to do any of that. For the past, since signing Nolan Arenado, the Rockies really haven't done anything. Re-signing Senza and Crone, honestly, good moves. We cannot sit there and say that bringing CJ Crone on a nice, shorter-ish deal and bringing your number 2 in the rotation back for 5 years is a bad thing. However, what now? How are the Rockies going to be better? And if they want to sit there and not tell us rebuild or tell us what their plan is, then how are we supposed to build confidence as Rockies fans? These are the questions we've been asking since the Nolan trade. How are the Rockies getting better right now? Unfortunately, that's just not the case, and I don't. Retooling makes the most sense. If I feel like the moves that I would look into, I would talk to Trevor Story. I really would, and I would have done this before the season. I wouldn't have let this go. Because if I'm that serious about Trevor, if I'm as serious as the Rockies at least have said they are about Trevor Story, then yeah, I wouldn't trade him, but I would have traded him at the trade deadline. If I'm not serious about bringing Trevor Story back this offseason, then I'm trading him at the deadline. There's nothing that I'm doing because that helps me rebuild or retool. But we're here in the here and now. The Rockies need to move this cluttered outfield, and they need to bring a veteran big bat and beef up the outfield with a good, solid outfielder. Make a package trade deal with all these people you have, and you have all these outfield prospects. You need to make a deal to clear that up. Because you just can't sit there and think a Tapia Daza Joe outfield is going to strike fear in the hearts of the Dodgers and the Giants. You simply need someone out there because I'm assuming I don't know if that's official, but it seems like it was universal DH in the CBA again. Stuff is just coming. Okay, here we go. Passan's article is out now, so we'll do that. But again, that's what I would do if I was the Rockies. Right now, if I was making the moves at this point, I'm trying to get Trevor Story back if I can. If not, I'm looking for a veteran shortstop, and I'm looking for a veteran outfielder that I can trade for. You have far too many outfield prospects. You're not playing all of them enough to see what they actually will do. Go out and get your outfielder through a trade. Get your Trevor Story replacement. Get Trevor Story through free agency. Let's see what we have with some of these young arms and see, especially with some of the promise we saw for the bullpen. Let's see what happens there with some of these young guys. I've kind of changed my tune there just because we saw the bullpen be good at the end of the year. If the bullpen can be good during the year, that's great because that is a build up from being bad from last year. If the bullpen is just good, then you can instead focus on what are you doing with your fifth person in the rotation. Are you going with Peter Lambert? Are you going young there? That's another place that you could explore a trade to get you a fifth arm. Doesn't need to be a crazy person, but someone that might want a couple pitching prospects in return for someone that's on, in their rotation that might benefit from a change of scenery. I don't have someone in mind right now because really, in reality, you need a John Gray. That's all you need. That's the other one where the Rockies made a mistake by not bringing back John Gray because John Gray fit his role fine. I'm happy for John Gray. I think Dallas is going to be the move, but not Dallas, Texas, wherever they are, and Bryce can tell you. But anyway, that's what I would do now. But let's go over here to Passan's email right now. Major League Baseball or not email, his ESPN thing. I'm trying to get my instant reaction. Okay, great. I need to move that to. You're seeing it all live, folks. You're seeing how the sausage gets made here. I can do this in a second. I'm sorry, folks. There we go. Got to get back in the flow, in the swing of things here. Okay, I'll do that in a second. Oh, wait, that's not it. Okay, Passan over here on ESPN. With the end of the second longest work stoppage in the game's history, spring training camps will open Sunday. Free agent signings can begin Thursday night, and baseball will attempt to return to some semblance of normalcy after months of fraught negotiations. The deal materialized after talks ratcheted up this week when the league made a proposal that bridged the significant gap in the competitive balance tax. The key issue is the end of stage talks. The dispute over an international draft threatened negotiation caused the league to remove from the schedule another two series Wednesday, but those issues were resolved Thursday morning, and the league delivered a full proposal to the union, which it voted to accept. The final vote by the MLBPA's 8-member of the executive subcommittee and 30-player reps was 26-12 in favor of the agreement, sources tell ESPN. The basic agreement governs almost all aspects of the game, but baseball's core economics were front and center in the labor talks. In addition to the CBT move, the minimum salary governing players with less than 3 years of major league service will jump from $570,500 to $700,000, growing to $780,000, and a bonus pool worth $50 million will be distributed among those younger players who have yet to reach salary arbitration. MLB had pushed for expanding the postseason to 12 teams, a plan to which the MLBPA agreed. Underline for the Rockies. 12-team postseason. Additionally, player uniforms will feature advertising for the first time. That's a big fart, but whatever. So we saw that coming, folks. I mean, if you didn't see that coming, I don't know what to tell you. I didn't know that was actually being negotiated right now, but whatever. I don't hate it. I totally understand. I see it. I understand why people are upset, but but I don't hate that. I don't know. A 45-day window for MLB to implement rules changes, among them a pitch clock, ban on shifts, and larger bases in the 2023 season. This was the stuff I was going to talk about before the Broncos decided to trade for Russell Wilson and moved my streaming schedule. I don't know. I don't get this whole big base things, and honestly, banning the shifts, I see why people I've heard and I've seen a lot of feedback of people think it's boring, but that seems like the most logical thing to do in baseball. Put your players in the position where it's not there. I don't know. That's just like a core fundamental thing of the game. And then when you see these ridiculous shifts, I'm sorry. I'm doing what Joey Gallo did that one time. And I'm busting all day. I think that's fun. I don't know. I think the shift introduces a wrinkle that needs to be explored in baseball and makes for really interesting a really interesting factor. I don't know. I guess again, but I am a fan. I am a Rockies fan. I am someone who cares deeply about baseball. I will watch. They're not worried about me because here I am year after year watching the Rockies. But I guess that's a window. So those rules haven't been changed yet. But a pitch clock, yes, let's get that going. That's totally fine. Come on, we can. That is, if you have the pitch clock, then you do have a set number of minutes that you can probably shave off. And I believe. One of the hosts of Locked On Dodgers, I think Jeff, calculated that you could save something around 25 minutes just by implementing the pitch clock on an average game. The National League is adopting the designated hitter. That has to mean the end of Charlie Blackmon in right field, I would imagine. That makes the most sense for the Rockies, especially with this cluttered outfield of young people and whatever potentially moves they might make. Charlie Blackmon has to be the DH for the Colorado Rockies. A draft lottery implemented with the intent of discouraging tanking, I guess. I don't know. I think lottery's dumb. And just because I don't know. It just but I have no solution for tanking. I don't know. If teams want to be bad, and they control the money, they're going to be bad. I don't know what to tell you. Draft pick inducements to discourage service time manipulation, please and thank you. Limiting the number of times a player can be optioned to the minor leagues in one season, thank you. The Rockies are not going to like that. So yeah, those are the big details, and that's kind of my instant takeaway. I know this wasn't really a traditional pod. I just wanted to hop on here for a little bit and give the breakdowns. But if you're looking for right now the big issues that are facing the Colorado Rockies, now that the season has started, is we got to see what the Rockies are going to do in this shortened free agency, and if that means aggression. Has their approach to free agency and anything changed now with the firing in their analytics department? Where will Trevor Story end up? Is Charlie Blackmon going to be the DH? Will CJ Cron mix up in there? Toglia potentially getting? I don't think it's probably too early for Toglia to come up, but it'd be interesting to see there what the Rockies are doing. And then, of course, what is the impact of no John Gray? I mean, how are the Rockies going to bounce back from potentially losing another two big name players for the team? Those are really the big issues facing the Colorado Rockies, including that potential outfield beef up that a lot of people have talked about. We shall see, folks, and we're going to talk about more tomorrow on the podcast. Don't you worry, we'll be doing more talks about this, but follow along with us here on Locked On Rockies right now. This is just kind of an impromptu, baseball is back, emergency little initial reactions type of thing. But we're going to talk more about it here on the Locked On Rockies podcast tomorrow. So make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel today so you can be up to date when we go live to talk about the Rockies every single day, basically. Because I'm sure we're going to be ramping up these Rockies podcasts real quick. So, folks, make sure you're following us at LO Rockies. Follow me at Paul Holden 33. Follow the show, Locked On Rockies, LO Rockies. We'll be talking Rockies baseball every single day throughout the season. Hang out with us. Come enjoy. And I can't wait to hang out with y'all and watch Rockies baseball. Baseball is back.